Welcome to Pull Up, Get Up, and Move On with Jenjii. I'm Jenjii, and I'm so glad you're here with me at this moment. We're going to take some time today to kind of walk through love. Not the romantic love, but the type of love that gives you the energy and the will to keep moving through life in spite of all those things that are trying to get you down, stop you, or block you. So get your coffee, get your tea, get your food, get your drink, but I won't judge you, but you know what you can and can't have, and come along and let's hang out. Let's talk about love instead of hate. With everything going on in the world, and maybe even personally in your life, there's a tendency for things to pull us toward division, to pull us toward anger, to pull us into exhaust, and to pull us away from what we are created to do, which is love. In most spiritual religions, love is the basis of things, and it also is freedom, it's liberation, and it's actually how we heal the world. And so growing up, I admire the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Through many of the trials and tribulations, his words were so prophetic. And the truth was, when I was young, I thought they were words for other people. But as you live longer, you are reminded that wisdom becomes words for you. And so I want to share with you a small part of something Dr. King has said, and we'll talk about it. Dr. Martin Luther King said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear." Let that resonate for a second. I have decided to stick with love because hate is too great of a burden to bear. Oh, that's deep. That's deep. And this is coming from a man who knew hate in ways that many of us don't. Hate against his body, against his family, against his mind, his finances, his culture, his race, faith against his faith, hate against his faith, probably even self-hate at times. And for him to be able to rise above the moment, the ignorance, the injustice, and get to this place. Because one of the things I know as a leader and as someone who has fought against systems and built and deconstruct is that knowledge is often what we speak from. But there becomes a moment, if you live long enough, if you connect with God deep enough, if you humble yourself enough, and if you keep going, you realize that the deepest thing to understand is not knowledge, but it is to become wisdom. And what Dr. King is giving us here is great wisdom. I remember growing up and I used to be like, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this. And my mama would be around the house and, if you know my mom or your parents, she is for the check-in business. And she would be like, Jenjii, don't use that word hate. It's a strong word. And I'll be like, but I hate it. She said, you haven't lived long enough to hate. You don't understand hate yet. And if you did, you would not choose it. I had the knowledge she was giving me about hate at that moment. But now I feel like I've grown into the wisdom. See, hate will harden your heart. It has nothing to do really with what we are created to be as humans. Whatever you aspire to religiously or politically or whatever, the truth is we are created to nurture and build and design and create and develop and think and all these things. But we are taught through ignorance and biases, and in some ways just our own intellect that is not as intelligent, that we have to not like something, we have to hate something in order to love something else, in order to protect something else. The reason why I believe my mom told me hate is a strong word is because what she knew is when she said that, she was protecting my heart. Many of us have not protected our heart in this season. And why is that the case? The news is coming in, the social media is coming in, people are getting laid off, the financial stuff. I have to tell you, it is a lot. It is overwhelming. The ignorance, the things that people say, the disbelief of the possibility that humans could think like this. The ignorance, the known ignorance and the chosen ignorance. There is so much out there, and it all is a distraction from what is actually the healing balm we need, which is love. So when King said in his speech, I have decided to stick with love, he was saying, I have a choice here. And see, sometimes choices come with a fight. It's not easy to choose love right now. And I'm not talking about loving your neighbor. I'm not talking about loving your enemy. Like, those are the things we're trying to get. I'm talking about just the feeling of love, the action of love, the sacredness of love, the belief in love, the hope that love perseveres, the hope that love will drive out hate. I'm talking about these things that are concepts, they are spiritual, they are rooted in ancient traditions, whether you are from an indigenous tribe in California, whether you are from an ancient tribe or a community in Egypt, whether your people created the Mayan ruins, wherever you originate from, the root of it all was love. Was love. The wisdom my mom and Dr. King knew is that if we could poison the root, we can kill the fruit. What are you drinking? And what are you pouring? So here's what I say to you today. I ask, and the truth is, I ask this out of a mother's heart, out of a young elder. Okay, we'll say young elder. Meditate and ponder and get uncomfortable with the thought of choosing love instead of hate. The next part of wisdom that Dr. King got to, that I love here, is he said, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. What he understood here is bearing the burden of hate makes you miserable. It does not make you victorious. It contaminates. Wherever you are in the world right now, there is something you are experiencing in politics and religion, in your families, in your community, that is the root of hate. Can I keep it real? Okay, I real. Thank you. Somebody check me or don't. I don't care. I'm going to say it. It's way too much hate going on right now. It's way too much. And I'm not being self-righteous. I have to tell y'all, I have to fight against this. Like, even I was telling my crew as we were producing these podcasts, I am intentionally choosing not to spew hate and even meanness in a time that is calling that out of me. Right? If you got kids or young people in your life, you know they check you all the time. And my kids sometimes be like, mom. I'll be like, boy, girl. But what they know and what they see is a parent wrestling with the same things they're wrestling with. And that wrestle is the wrestle against becoming what we detest, becoming the poison. And that happens very small. How's that happen? I'm glad you asked. It happens when we stop showing love. It happens the moment you stop showing empathy. It happens the moment we start talking about folks. It happens the moment we start judging people and we start making ourselves holy. It happens the moment that we believe that we know better than other folks how they should live. It happens the moment when I choose someone else's identity above who they choose to be. It happens the moment when I put down your God and you put down my God, and now our gods aren't even at war, but we are. It happens the moment when we become the ignorance we detest. And the thing I love about love is you don't need a PhD. You don't need a degree of any kind. You don't need to be put on a pedestal. What you need to love is intention. It's purity. Love is an action. And what I was meditating on, that if love is an action, then I can teach myself how to move in that action. The way we move in that action is when hate tries to come in. Okay, here we go. You ready? Okay, great. When hate tries to come in through your social media, when the news comes on and it gets you and you get to whoop, 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 you know what that means. Some of y'all whoop, whoop, whoop. When hate or relationships or things get you to want to be bitter, to want to be angry, and to want to lash back out or to do worse harm than actual good, when hate wants you to scream and love is telling you to be still, when hate wants you to fight and love is saying the fight is in your stillness, when hate is telling you that if you don't rise up big enough, everything is doomed. When the truth is, one of the things that history shows us is there are those who rise and fight, and there are those who retreat and pray. And with the fight and the pray, love meets somewhere in the middle, and hate loses. Here's a public service announcement. Hate always loses. And if you don't believe me, go look at history. There comes a time when those who are leading with hate and vengeance and malice, they do fall. But the way that happens is through more love, because love is an action. And so what love does is it tells the truth with dignity in this context. It creates boundaries without bitterness. Right? You could love and have a boundary and not make people feel bad and you not feel bad. Love is justice without dehumanizing people. Love believes in justice, but it doesn't believe in torture. And so when we talk about love in this context, love is not denial. It's not enabling. It's not setting boundless restrictions. Love is not being courageous. Love is action. And today, as you move forward, I want to give you a couple things. Go meditate on this. Think about this. Talk to people about this. And then here's 3 things. 1, interrogate your thinking. Yeah. What I do know is some people are already triggered by some of the things I've said, and that's okay. That's good. That means we feeling, we alive, we got blood, we moving, things are flowing, we thinking. Interrogate your thinking. Some of us are so pissed about some of the things going on in life right now that we can't even stop and think, do I want to be this hate? We just become it. And before you know it, you're consumed by the poison, and we now are reproducing it. And the hardest thing about that is that we're not reproducing it on these major levels. We're reproducing it in our homes, in our communities, in the things we can touch and feel. Interrogate your thinking. Is hate seeping in through your actions and words, but love is calling out? The second is, Micro acts of love. Because love is an action, in the context that we're talking about it, it's an action. What are small acts of love you can do? How do you become the love you desire to see? So, for example, I was watching in my news feed one day, this man put on a blindfold and he had a sign up and he said, "Do you need a hug today? Hug me." Most people are like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." People start walking up to him, hugging him, crying, telling them his story. He never saw their face. He didn't know their color. He was just this man who was like, "I'll be loved today." And what we know about love is the way love spreads, the way love conquers all, is that it starts in the individual moments with individual people that become a large movement. What is a micro act of love you can practice? Yeah, give that homeless person $1. It ain't gonna hurt you. That's love. Instead of being like, I don't know why they homeless. Well, you ain't never been close to being homeless. It's easy to become homeless these days, right? Micro act of love. Buy somebody lunch and don't ever tell them it's you. That's love. A micro act of love. Sometimes it's just apologizing. A micro act of love could be listening to an elder that no one wants to hear. A micro act of love could be listening to a young person who's angry and not judging them. Also, another micro act of love could be you being joy. Like, you ever seen somebody walking down the street and they just laugh and heckle loud? Like, you mad today. And you walking and the people just laughing. That laughter is contagious. And even if I don't laugh, I remember laughter. I remember joy by hearing you. And then the last is love has boundaries. One of the issues we're seeing across the globe today is that people have forgotten their boundaries when it comes to what's good and what's not. My son is learning about morality. And one of the things we know is that not all things that are legal are moral. Not all things that are opinions are moral. And that we all think morality is different. But one of the things I do know is that if you have no boundaries around love and what you give and don't give, you eventually give every and anything. And sometimes you become those things you did not love. So where are the boundaries in your life? Is someone asking you to speak or teach about something you don't believe in? Is someone asking you to conform to something that you may believe in, but you don't want to put that on others? Like the boundary around love, are you taking time to assess yourself to know why you may be becoming bitter or even frustrated at times? And all of it is because you didn't put up a boundary. Boundaries are okay, y'all. It's not mean. One of the issues, I'm not going to go all the way there, is that it's free season on some things. But the thing about love, God, nature, whatever you want to call it, is that there is a cycle to life, and there is a cycle to purging, and there is a cycle to new life. And in those cycles, the thing that truly lives at the end of it all is love. And so as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, and those words we need more now today, is that I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. If you need permission, let me give you permission today. You could put hate down. You don't have to bear it. You may not know how to get to love. You may not know how to love something that is bothering you. You may not even understand the concept of love because of trauma. But here's the beauty, that something is going to happen and it will manifest through love or hate. And the first step you have to do is choose love and let love teach you what that means in this season of your life and in this season of our world. So I want to encourage you all today. I want to speak to you wherever you're at. And I want to say the way that we heal the broken systems, people, and spirits is not through politics. It's not through education. It's through your love. Go love something today. I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about a healing love. I'm talking about a wise love, a timely love, a love that expands through generations. A love that is more powerful than hate. This is how you pull up, get up, and move on. You become the thing that we most need. All right? So I'm going to work on becoming more love, and you going to work on becoming more love, and then DM me and tell me how that went, okay? Because I need your wisdom as much as I hope you need mine. Be blessed.